get these cut, get the form filled out, get them sent back. Right, so today we are cracking on with the driveway. Been over it a couple of times with the lacquer plate because if you hit these, you're going to chip them. So you've just seen we've smashed these down. Well, not smashed, placed them carefully and lovingly. Right, so we're just about to start getting the paver sand in on the driveway, and we are due like a serious thunderstorm. Oh, I've sealed them in.
What with
the tanking tape? Oh dear. We're gonna have to cut some of the wall out. Tell you what, pull them cables, mate. No, like outside on the pump. Now my hands are wedged in here. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah. That's it then. So basically what's happened is, where the cables come through, we had a bit of an issue before with everything, and we needed to make sure it was nicely sealed in here, and it came through, not through the tanking, but yeah, it did actually come through the tanking, that's a lie. So what I've had to do is obviously seal it off again around the cables. So what that's doing is pinching hold of those cables and stopping us from pulling them out. So we're now going to have to make a hole here so we can get in there, basically cut the tanking tape, pull the cables back, and then we can reseal it then. Which isn't what we wanted to do, but it's what we got to do. Just a disclaimer, I'm not pulling this too hard because I don't want to stretch or damage the cable. That's why we've had to make sure we do this without trying to yank the cables out. Bit more, because obviously we're going to have to do our connection, aren't we? Right, I'll pull the other one now. Awesome. Right, get these cut, get the form filled out, get them sent back. Right then guys, so you've seen us getting this area here prepped. So this is our sand base on top of the MOT sub base. We're now about to do this area. So we've roughly just sort of raked out this sharp sand in this area. And now we're going to use our screed bar there, which is effectively a bit of timber with some notches cut out to the depth that we need. And then we're just going to screed this off here, get it somewhere near, run the whacker plate over it. Then we can see how much more sand that we actually need to get the job completed. And then go and get some more sand if we need it. Hopefully we won't, but we have got a bit more to put on here just to bring us up to the right level. It's always important just to get a basic covering down, roll it off, then whacker it, because obviously then that's going to reduce the depth that you've got there, because standing on this, as you can see just from where we've been walking, it already compresses it. Once you've been over it with the whacker plate as well, makes it nice and solid. But again, you do need to go over it again just with a dusting just to get it perfectly flat, because you want a nice flat area on which to put your pavers or your sets or whatever you're putting on top of it. So yeah, we're just going to get this screeded off now, get it whackered down, see where we're at, and then we can crack on. So as you've just seen, I've got all this area whackered down now, so we've given it our first roll off with a depth, then leaving a depth from the top of these down to the sand 40mm. These are 50mm. So what that's given us is a good base then that we can get on there, whack it down, and then what that actually does is just, obviously I haven't got right up to the edge, but you can see bringing that through level, that brings us just below the surface of this. So then what we're going to do, obviously get that last bit done in there, and then we're going to drop this then, so it gives us less material to go onto here. And then what that does, when we come to whack it down, we're going to be roughly 2mm above this when we put these on. So then when we whack them down, it puts them in their final resting place, which will come in lovely and level with these ones. So we've just got one more coat to go over the top of this. Like I say, roll it all off, the whole thing all the way across, get it whacked down, and then we can start. One other thing that has got to happen before we finish this though is we've got to get this flaunched in here. So this is the adjoining property here, and what we're going to do, because we've got lots of different levels going on, this is the next door neighbour's house. They are going to be doing some work with this in the future, so we're going to basically lap plastic up here So when we put our flaunching down to it, when they come to lift these slabs, they can lift these out the way and our flaunching will stay undamaged and in situ. Because if you start having to knock all this out, it's going to end up knocking these out and then cause damage further down the line. So by just putting some plastic up here, it creates a defining point then, so these can be struck out the way and the concrete will just stay there, no problems at all. But it also means they're backed off, because one of them has become loose up there just because somebody walked on it, or I think it's been knocked or whatever, but basically it's become loose. So we need to back these off before we start doing anything on this side, which could basically knock them this way. So once that's all in, we'll leave that then, and then tomorrow we can carry on getting all this sorted up, out, you know what I mean. Yeah, just getting it sorted, getting it done. Right, let's crack on. Right, so I've been over it a couple of times with the lacquer plate, and now we've just did a little tester with our blocks. You can see on the edges here and here. We've realised we need to go down a slight amount more. The issue that you always have when doing stuff like this is being precise, because you don't know how much that sand is going to compress. So we've took a rough sort of average and allowing 10 mil of compression each time, and we're pretty much there now. You can see it's probably what, about 3-4 mil maybe. It's got to go down. So I reckon with another 1 or 2 passes over it, we should get to where we need to be. You can see I'm just going over my float. It was just to take the edges down, because obviously when you go around with the whacker, you don't want to get right up to the edge, because if you hit these, you're going to chip them. With that vibrating, it will just chip them, or it will dislodge them, and you don't want that obviously. So just the edges, just around here, you can just take them off like that. It just brings it in then flat with the rest of the sand, so you know you're where you need to be, because otherwise you're going to end up with a little ramp at the side. Right, so we're just going to give this a wet off now, because it is quite a hot day and it's drying the surface of the sand off, and you can't whacker it when it's not wet. It needs to be wet, otherwise it just turns into dust and just drags out all over the place. So we're going to give it a quick wet down now, and then run over it a few more times with the whacker, and hopefully we'll be where we need to be. You've just seen the first one's going down. We've done all the prep work we can. We've got it to where we need it to be. And now it's just a case of dropping them into place and going for it and getting them in. This is the fun bit, where it all comes together. Right guys, so you've just seen we've smashed these down, well not smashed, placed them carefully and lovingly all the way down to the point at which we have whacked down and levelled off. We've got the rest of the bit up there which we're going to get on with tomorrow, and we can also finish the flaunching down that edge that I mentioned about, and then we can get the toilet moved back up here and then just finish that last little bit, and then job is a good un. Right, it's home time, we're going, see you later. Morning guys, right, so today we are cracking on with the driveway. You can see we're making excellent progress. Yesterday Pete absolutely smashed through all of these cuts, got a couple to do there. Hi Pete.
Morning.
Hi, hi, hi. Now he's just on the mission to get rid of all of these little holes that you can see now by filling all those in, and the same along there as well. I am just about to start flaunching here, so you can see obviously this is next door's property, this is the boundary line there, and we need to make good this little bit here. So we're going to flaunch this in. At some stage, like I mentioned before, this is getting changed and removed, so we're going to lap some plastic up the edge here of these slabs, and then what that's going to enable is them to remove these slabs but leave the flaunching in situ. Going to come all the way down to here with that. Basically here you can see where we're going to just cut this last paver straight in line with our line here, because we've got lots of different angles going on. We've got a line across there, which are both sort of coming in, tapering in towards the end. There's going to have to be a cut somewhere, so this is where we're going to cut it, and then we'll retarmac this bit here just so it obviously marries in with the existing road there. Yeah, that is it. We need to crack on, so let's do it. Right guys, as you've just seen, Pete and James have been getting all the cuts in. I'm doing that a bit of flaunching, getting the rest of them in, and the driveway is now 99% done. It's looking very good. You can see obviously there is a twist on it, but everything runs through flat. It just sort of lightly cambers over like that to match in with the road. And we've also got a bit of making good to do around here. We just need to decide on the final position of this water pipe and this power supply here, which will be coming up in the shed once the shed goes in this area here. So that's pretty much it for this. I'm just going to give it a nice pressure wash off now, just to get it as clean as possible. It'll then be left over the weekend, and then on Monday we've got some lovely grey paving sand that we can get into this. We didn't want to go for the yellowy stuff because the contrast is quite a lot. As you can see, obviously that isn't sand, but the yellow on this sort of colour doesn't look ideal. So we've got some lovely grey stuff which is going to look really, really nice. So yeah, that's it. Going to get it pressure washed off, and then it'll look mint, and then that's it, it's going home time. So you can see the pressure wash drive is looking mint now. All we need to do is put the paving sand in. Like I mentioned, we've got some grey stuff, so that'll go in on Monday once this is fully dry, because we don't need this to be wet, because it will stick like hell to it. So we don't want that. We want these to be totally dry, so then the sand goes in nicely. It does look absolutely mint now. Obviously we need to go over it with the whacker plate just to take out any imperfections and also help compact the paving sand within the joints. I did get a bit of water on this and blow a bit of it out, so I'm just giving this a quick once over again, and then this is all done. That's it. Monday we can get it finished hopefully, and then we'll be on to getting the soil and the turf in the garden. Right, so we're just about to start getting the paving sand in on the driveway, and it's raining. So looking over there, it's looking pretty grey, pretty dismal, so we are due like a serious thunderstorm. So I think we're going to have to hold fire on this because we can't be putting it in if it's raining. This all needs to be totally dry, so we'll get everything unloaded and ready, and then in the morning tomorrow, the next few days are meant to be absolutely mint, so we can just crack on and get this done. I've had to hire a whacker plate because we don't have a whacker plate that's got the rubber pad on the bottom, because we don't actually do a lot of this at all. So the rubber pad that I could find from the few different hire places that we've got accounts at, none of them fit our whacker, so I've had to just hire one quickly just for a day just to get this done, and then that's it, it can just go back. It's pointless buying one because we very, very rarely use it. I mean, in the 6 years that I've been with A&E, 7 years maybe, we've never used one, so it seems pointless buying one. Alex has made a good start on this, got all this cut out here. So as I mentioned before, we're going to obviously do a tarmac repair. So I've got a load of bags of concrete on the van, not concrete, tarmac, don't be putting concrete in there. Got some tarmac that we can get in there. We're going to paint bitumen paint everywhere just to give it a nice key and help it join in with this existing tarmac, and then we can get all that in there as well. So yeah, we'll just get everything unloaded, and by that time it will be nearly home time anyway. So I mean, it might pass, but I'm not going to take that chance because you know what'll happen. Right, just another thing before it does chuck it down with rain is the resin on these. So you can see now I've nearly finished. I've just got a few uprights to do and these backs to do, but I've got all these edges done now and all the joints all the way across here. So that's all filled in. So rather than using the flowable grout that we're using everywhere else, we've used the resin because one, you've got more control over it. It's not a flowable. You literally can get it in there nicely, and plus it gives a more solid finish on stuff like this, on areas like this where people are going to be sitting down, walking up and down, stuff like that. It's just a bit more durable really. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Goes well, the black goes well with the colour of the tiles, so I'm happy with that. That's it, not much more to say. I've got, like I say, I've got a few more joints to do, but I have actually got to order another tin, which is frustrating because I'm very nearly finished and the tin's like that big and is about 40 quid. So it is a shame, but we need to get the job done, so it is what it is. Right, let's get all this lot unloaded before it chucks down. Morning guys, right, so today we've got a good little job to do. We've got to get all this cleared. You can see this has been our mixing area, our storage area, all that sort of good stuff. And now, like DFS, other furniture stores are available, everything must go. We've got to get rid of all this, get the ground prepped, and then start getting some soil in, and then turf, plants as well, hedges down there. So today we're landscape gardeners. It's good. Basically we're Mr. Ben, like we just change all the time to different trades. So yeah, today we're just going to get all this prep work done and hopefully start getting the soil down today, and then go and get some turf and start getting it in, which is going to be nice. Hopefully the weather holds out. It's meant to be beautiful, so it's ideal weather for this. Better crack on because there is a lot to do. you've just seen us getting all the area prepped, got everything out of the way, and now topsoil time. There's lots to go in. We managed to distribute quite a bit that we already had saved up, and this is now ton 4. So we've put 4 ton in here so far. Well, there's a couple more barrels to go, and that'll be 4 ton. Gonna definitely need a few more. What we need to do is basically bring this soil up to this level here, and then when we compact it down, because obviously you can see that just from me stepping on it, it compacts down. When we compact it all down, that will just bring it just below the surface, so when we put the turf on, the ground will run through nicely, because what you don't want is the grass, the top of the grass or whatever, to be level with that. You want the actual, I don't know what it's called, the tuft of the grass, the bottom bit of the grass, to come level with that, so there's no step down. So if you're walking across here barefoot or whatever, you don't whack your toe on that, because that'd hurt. So yeah, there's still quite a bit to go in here, to be fair. We knew there's going to be quite a lot of makeup, so just got to keep plugging away and filling it up.